lately Microsoft doing a pretty darn good job of playing off some of the nostalgia, and I actually like this kind of stuff when they do these types of giveaways and things like that. I know a lot of people really get into it, and I do myself as well, because Microsoft really goes all out, and just as a fan of video games in general, they have a lot going for themselves. And trust me, I get it, nobody knows that gaming is changing more than I do. I get it, gaming is changing, things are different, things are always kind of up in flux when it comes to the video game stratosphere. And for right now though, let's just enjoy what we got and kind of get into this. This should be a very interesting video, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be excited about this. What's up, everybody? I'm Crab Gamer. I'm back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally if you guys could just do that. I do daily gaming content. I rarely take a break. I took a little bit of an extended break recently, but after all the years of doing this, I think I kind of warranted that of a little bit. So if you guys appreciate what I do, just hit the like button. That would be pretty awesome and much appreciated. Now, Microsoft's always kind of giving away stuff here or there. It's really nice to see them kind of go out of their way to do that. And now they've added a new dynamic background and gamer picks for free. This is celebrating Rare's big 40th birthday. So believe it or not, I know Rare used to be looked at as like one of the biggest and best studios of all time, and now it's like that might necessarily be true, but I mean, look, they still have some of the biggest games that you can have, and even though they've been kind of mired down with stuff like Sea of Thieves, that's unmitigated success. You can't really look at that and go, oh, okay, well, that's not a successful game or anything like that, because it is an extremely successful game, and there's not really any other way to kind of go about it. So just kind of unveiled, there's some goodies being announced to celebrate the 40th anniversary of developer Rare, and those goodies also include a batch of fresh gamer picks and a new dynamic background on the Xbox Series X and S. To celebrate 40 years of the famous studio, Microsoft has released a character-filled dynamic background. This thing looks actually pretty darn cool for the Series and X and S users, alongside some new gamer picks that revolve around Rare's iconic characters, including Banjo. And I'll link this so you guys can check it out as well. The dynamic background looks absolutely phenomenal on the Xbox Series X and S. It's one of those things where it's really cool to kind of see them go out of their way to bring that out and to showcase hey, what they have. And that's like I said, really cool. It may be a bit busy for some people, but I actually really like it. It's nice and bright, colorful, dynamic, and more than worthy addition to the Series X and S lineup. Rare also showed and shared some high quality images of two more of these new gamer picks, which will be thrown in as well, which really look cool. One of them is from Sea of Thieves as well. The timing may feel a little bit odd, giving recent cancellations of Everwild and a batch of developer layoffs that happened over at Rare, but still nice to celebrate a storied studio. And if you happen to miss out on the news on the recent trouble, obviously you probably live a little bit under a rock. So I don't know, this could maybe look at being a little bit of something of a situation where they are a little tone deaf, I guess. Hey, let's celebrate 40 years of Rare. We just got done canceling a game and laying off a bunch of people. But, still from where I'm sitting, it does look like they kind of were able to kind of do some cool stuff. And, it was nice to see them actually be able to do a, something like this and have it come from Rare. I think that's pretty darn cool. This wasn't the only thing, although that's like the free stuff. 8BitDo unveiled its first Xbox wireless controller to celebrate Rare's 40th anniversary, officially licensed by Rare and Xbox. The good folks are back at it again with another Xbox controller, but this time there's a big difference. Not only is it the company's first wireless Xbox controller to hit the market, but it's celebrating the 40th anniversary of Rare. In addition to both wired and wireless compatibility with Xbox One, Series X and S, as well as a Bluetooth compatibility, 8BitDo's Ultimate 3-mode controller for Xbox. The Rare 40th edition features Hall effects, sticks, and Xbox-style impulse triggers, a golden metal tactile D-pad, pro level buttons, the ability to switch between 3 profiles on the fly, a seamlessly integrated charging dock, and support for tweaking various features via the 8BitDo Ultimate Software X. Quote unquote, a modern controller that respects the classics. Every detail paid attention to. Interesting classic and modern gaming. Wrapped in a signature blue and gold. This special edition features patterns, game-inspired silhouettes, and a playful Easter egg, a tribute to Rare's legacy brought to life. As part of this, there's a rechargeable battery that targets around 20 hours of playtime with 4 hours of charge time. For those wondering, the dock isn't an optional extra. It's included in the package. This retails at $89.99. Pre-orders have begun and at retailers such as Amazon, etc. I think it looks really cool. You know, one of the cooler little things kind of going on there at Rare. You know, nice to see that kind of happen, and you know, Microsoft kind of backing that or whatever. Like I said, I'll choose to kind of look at these as maybe good news or whatever. And you know, I always point out as well, because when people look at like, hey, you know, we're getting some free stuff from Microsoft or whatever the case may be, it's nice to see that, you know, things are kind of changing for the better in terms of what Microsoft is bringing the fans and things like that. And there's always like some perpetually free games that Microsoft has. So if you didn't know that, yeah, there's some perpetually free stuff that they have, and you know, it's just nice to see that they're able to kind of go out there and offer that stuff, which if you didn't know, like Crackdown 1 and 2 are always free, and you know, Too Human from Silicon Knights is also a game that seems like it's pretty much perpetually free. Those are 360 games or whatever, but still nice to see that kind of happen, and you know, come about in the way that they've kind of managed to do that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, again, nice to see that happen. Microsoft is kind of on the ball with that, and you know, listen, I know like things change, people change. Gaming is in a very strange place. I'll probably comment on that on, you know, a different video. I know I take a little bit of time off and like everything kind of blows up on the gaming side of things. So yeah, you know, it's just one of those things where I am excited to kind of talk about a lot of this stuff and how I feel about it. But you know, I figured you guys would be definitely interested in seeing, you know, some of these free things, and you know, again, just being able to kind of have and play these types of things, I think is really cool. You know, just from a series of you know, interesting kind of takes and things like that. So you know, nice to see that. Like I said, Microsoft has some smart ideas. It was never in question about the hardware itself. I think has been nothing short of fantastic. Xbox Series X and even the Xbox Series S are really great consoles. I think it really was just kind of coming down to, you know, are they going to really support this stuff? And I think you have to be able to go out there and say, okay, well, you know, we're going to do our best to support these things to the best of our ability, and you know, we're not just going to like throw the towel in or whatever. And there's always this like that risk, I guess, there that, you know, if you're a fan, you have to kind of take that. You have to take that risk, and you have to kind of just go, okay, well, you know, there's a risk with pretty much anything in gaming these days, you know, and to be honest, there is, you know, you never know what company is going to do what. You know, it was the same thing back in the day, you know, I mean, I bought a Dreamcast, and, you know, they kind of gave up fairly quickly into that generation. You know, I thought it was a great console. I thought they had some great games, but at the same point in time, it was just like, I guess they weren't really you know, able to compete with PlayStation and things, you know, so that was really unfortunate. You know, at that time though, given at the time that it was, if you had your console, and you know, like I still do, and the games and stuff, they'll still work. You didn't need to be connected to the internet. But unlike nowadays, where you do basically need to be connected for pretty much everything. But you know, we'll see what happens. But anyway, some free stuff. Like I said, I love the dynamic themes. I love the fact that they're able to do that. In fact, it's probably one of the coolest things about this generation. You know, I really miss the way that we used to get you know, all these different dynamic backgrounds and gamer picks back in the day, you know, even though we paid for it. I don't know, it's like, you know, people used to spend all kinds of money on on these types of things, and nobody complained about it. So it's weird that they kind of cut out the ability to buy these things and the ability to kind of enjoy these things like the way we used to. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about this stuff, though? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, and as always, Crap Gamer 'em up. I'll see you here next time. Crap Gamer out.